Everyone says these vehicles run absolutely forever. But let me tell you a little secret. They only outlive you if you actually open the hood once in a while and treat that mechanical heart right instead of just waiting for a red dashboard light to completely ruin your family road trip. The CR-V is legendary for reliability, but it is not completely maintenance-free, and ignoring the basics will cost you down the line. First off, let us talk about the maintenance minder system. Your dashboard will throw letters and numbers at you like A1 or B12. Do not panic and do not ignore them. A and B mean it is time for an oil change and a visual inspection, while the numbers represent specific tasks like rotating your tires, changing air filters, or swapping out transmission fluid. Speaking of oil, if you have the 1.5-liter turbocharged engine, you absolutely must use high-quality full synthetic 0W20 engine oil. Do not cheap out here. Because these are direct injected engines, using top-tier fuel and high-quality synthetic oil helps prevent carbon buildup on the intake valves. Also, if you live in a cold climate and only take very short trips to the grocery store, you might experience a little bit of fuel dilution where unburned gas mixes with your engine oil. The best way to prevent this is to simply take the car on the highway for a good 20 to 30-minute drive once a week to let the engine reach its optimal operating temperature and evaporate any of that trapped moisture or fuel. Now let us move on to the transmission. This is absolutely crucial. Your vehicle likely has a continuously variable transmission, commonly referred to as a CVT. You cannot just pour any old red transmission fluid in there. You must use the specific Honda HCF-2 fluid. Drain and fill it every 30,000 to 40,000 miles, regardless of what the service advisor says about lifetime fluids. Lifetime fluid just means the lifetime of the transmission, and if you never change it, that lifetime will be surprisingly short. If you have the all-wheel drive model, you also have a rear differential that needs love. It uses Honda dual-pump fluid too, and it usually needs to be changed around the first 15,000 miles and then every 30,000 miles after that. If you hear a groaning or scrubbing noise from the rear end when you are making tight turns in a parking lot, that is your car screaming for new differential fluid. Another thing to keep an eye on is the battery. Modern Hondas are packed with electronics, sensors, and cameras that draw a massive amount of power, and the tiny factory batteries tend to give up the ghost after about 3 years. If you start getting weird random warning lights on the dash for things like the anti-lock brakes or the steering assist, do not instantly assume your car is falling apart. 9 times out of 10, a weak battery is causing voltage drops that make the computer sensors go crazy. Have the battery tested, and consider upgrading to a slightly larger group size battery if it fits securely in the tray, as it will give you a lot more cold cranking amps for those freezing winter mornings. Before I forget, around that 100,000 mile mark, your engine is going to need a new set of iridium spark plugs. Do not wait until the engine starts misfiring or idling rough at stoplights to get this done. Worn spark plugs put extra strain on the ignition coils, and replacing those will turn a cheap tune-up into a massive repair bill. While you are under the hood, take a flashlight and inspect the serpentine belt. It drives your alternator, water pump, and air conditioning compressor. If you see tiny cracks running across the ribs of the belt, it is time to swap it out before it snaps on the highway. Also, when you take your car to the dealership for routine service, the advisor might try to sell you a fuel induction cleaning service or an engine flush. In most cases, if you are using high-quality gasoline and doing your oil changes on time, you can politely decline those upsells. Keep it simple, stick to the factory maintenance schedule, and this machine will hold its resale value better than almost anything else on the road today.